This week, I'm going up and down the UK to film a mini client documentary series for the Optimize Coach. And I thought what I would do is show you all of the kit that I bring on a project like this, starting with the mic and then the lav. So I'm gonna chuck this on and then we'll crack on. Okay, now that I've got the lav on, I'm gonna quickly show you guys sort of like what I'm doing with the space in general. So this is where I set everything up, build it all out. I keep all my lenses here, keep the bodies here as well, podcast board, headphones, but obviously I'm not taking the podcast board down with me this time. Top drawer, we've got drone, action cameras, cables, mics, flashes. I keep stuffing, I don't know what you'd call it, like the boxes, and then plastic down here so I can pad out the Peli case. This drawer, mics, hard drives, you name it. Second drawer down, gimbal, lights, and then again, last drawer, just more lenses and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk you through exactly what I'm putting in the Peli case, why I'm putting it in, and then sort of what use I would normally have for that piece of kit. So before we get into like the main part of the video, guys, one thing I wanted to make clear is at the beginning of my sort of creative journey, I was so focused on kit acquisition, having the best stuff, and I thought that that would bring me the best result. I was so focused on like the micro, I would forget about the macro, and in this instance, the macro is the storyline of the project, and the micro is the individual shot. So for example, this right here, before I would be focused on having the best camera set up and then the best lighting coming onto me here, I would forget about the time, I would forget all these other small things that then would ruin or interfere with later on in the project. Whereas now, I'm considerably more intentional about what I pack. I try and pack very minimally, and then if I bring extras, it's only as backups, because now I'm getting out of my own way and I can shoot far more volume, which in itself will have like buried in, like quality buried in that. So if I can do more volume, dig out the quality, and then add that into the story, overall the video I'm going to make at the end is going to be considerably better, instead of just having 5 or 6 incredible shots, but I've missed half of the context, and then I'm sat there editing it like, So this is your sign. Watch this video, because this is going to change the way that you pack your kit. Anyway, let's go. First things first, I'm going to pack the Sony a7 IV. Now, this is personally one of my favorite cameras. It was actually the camera that I bought after the a7 III, and the story behind the a7 III was, it was Christmas Day, I went home and dropped it on the way home, broke it, and this was like early on in my career, and didn't really have the money to buy this. I was waiting for a deal to come up, but I had a paid job at the beginning of the following year, so just after New Year, and I was like, well, this isn't going to be fixed in time, so went and bought this, the a7 IV, which has for a long time been like the absolute workhorse camera, and it's still the go-to for photos. The quality of the images, because it's got a 32 megapixel sensor, the quality of the images that you can get from this is quite frankly ridiculous. And at some point it is going to break on me, which is why I'm going to introduce you to the second camera that I'm going to be bringing, which is the Sony a7 III. Typically I would use the a7 III for time lapses or as primarily a backup photo camera to this one. Normally I'm traveling doing podcasts and stuff like that, so this would be in use for video. But today, just these two bodies going in to begin with, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to stuff some of this. So this is the Sony G Master 24mm. It's an absolute weapon, and I think it's the latest lens that I've bought. I wanted something wider that could go down to 1.4 that I could use in the gym, and also like lower light scenarios, because when I started using like better cameras, I really started to understand the potential I had with the equipment, and I was like, right, I need this. And it's an absolute beast for photos, but it is not as good as, this is my favorite lens ever that I'm about to show you. The Sony 50mm G Master, the big brother of the 24. I got this, must be 2 years ago, because I was traveling down to England to do work, and I was like, oh, I want these to be good photos. So I ended up going and spending $1.5 grand on that lens, but it was well worth it. And the opportunities that came off the back of it were plentiful as well. So far we have a7 III, a7 IV, Sony 50mm G Master, Sony 24mm G Master. I will then also pack the Sigma 24-70 lens. This is another incredible lens. This was actually the first lens that I got after my kit lens on the first ever camera body I had. First ever camera body I had was the Sony a6 400, and I got the kit lens with that, and then quickly realized that I was going to need to get something better if I wanted to do this professionally, and I was recommended this. I'm packing my bag on the floor now, so you guys don't get to see what goes in the bag, but I will show you before I put it in. So this lens goes in the sack. Then what I'm going to pack, this little doofer, no idea what it's called, but I'm packing it. So this is where the little partitions come in handy, because what I've just realized is I'm probably not going to have space, so I've removed the A7 III, and I'm going to pack an extra lens instead. It's worth remembering, if you're going on a train, some people are arseholes, so you want all your stuff to be safe and secure. So now that we've got these bad boys in, and they are tucked in safely, before I'd put them here, now here, and I'll probably take one of these compartments out to make extra room for some more like actually needed things. The next thing I'm going to pack is going to be the FX6, but what I'm going to have to do with this is just strip it down so it fits into the Peli case, bare bones. So stripping this down is actually pretty simple. Pop the mic off, like so. Do that back up. So you can see that just comes off the body like that. But then there's a cable going in here, so I'm gonna put it back on the bench. So this is what the FX6 looks like without the top handle. To make sure you pack the screen safely, you can either take it off, you can turn it to a way that suits, but normally what I would do, I would pinch it right the way in on that little thingy-mabobby there. Tuck it right in, side on, and then I would just thread that around. So now that's good. I'm gonna wrap it in some bubble wrap as well. So it's gonna be easier to unplug it after, but what you do to get the handle off, grip release, and then it just pulls off like so. I'm gonna put this back down on the table so I don't break it. Unplugged, this is the FX6 body. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, when I got this, I sat down for hours trying to understand how to use it, and I never thought I was going to actually fully understand how to use it, but I think I'm getting there now. But it is a confusing ass camera when you begin. This goes into the bag. It's worth noting, with this being the wheel side of the Peli, I don't want to put things that are like super valuable, like the FX6, at the very bottom. So I'm going to use some additional padding to keep it packed down, because I really don't want to end up breaking it. The handle, that's pretty simple. I just thread that around there like so, and then I'm going to pop it into one of these. Moving on to action cameras, what we're going to do, we're going to go into this little bad boy. I'm going to take the GoPro. I could also take the Insta360. Fuck it, I'll take the Insta360. Nah, I'm not. No Insta360. GoPro ND filters. Pretty neat. So the next thing I'm going to pack is literally just going to be this small rig magic arm clamp. You've probably seen these all over Instagram. This is the older model. It's not incredible, but it is also really, really fucking good. Like, it's very useful, especially when you're traveling quite light. It means I only need to really take one tripod, and then this thing is going to act as my second tripod, albeit very temperamental sometimes. But basically, screw that thread onto the camera, clamp this onto any sort of area that's solid, and then you've got your second vantage point. Something that I would like to take, but I don't think I'm going to have room to take, is the gimbal. As you can see, my gimbal is pretty bust. I've just about broke every single lock inside of it, but it still works a treat when you stabilize it well. But in this instance, I do not think I'm going to have the space to take it. So gimbal's going to sit home on this one. A couple more thingy-mabobbies for you that I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring this little mount for the camera, threads into the hot shoe, and then I can also mount the GoPro or 360, whatever I'm using on it, and also another little XLR to 3/4 inch thread cable as well. The next big item I shall be bringing with me is going to be the drone. This drone isn't actually anything special. It's the DJI Mavic 4, I believe, Mini. It's the one that weighs like 249 grams, so it doesn't need to have like the full licensing or whatever the full-size drones do. Yeah, it's lasted me a year and a half so far at this point. I've only broken it once, I just snapped one of the propellers, but other than that, it's pretty good. It also just gives you another sort of viewpoint of the same thing. I often find it doesn't have to be the most interesting thing in the world that you're filming, but if you've got lots of different angles coming in of that same thing, you've got like wide, close, and aerial, it makes the whole visual and just story way more engaging. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second as well. So next up, I'm going to be bringing the Be-Free Manfrotto tripod. It's a pretty sturdy piece of kit. It's got a little handle that allows you to move it here. It doesn't really get in the way, but also it is very helpful if you're trying to like pan a shot. You just have to really loosen this off. But it's not the best tripod in the world, but I can vouch for it. It's lasted me a very long time, and it's more stable than an Amazon one, so can't complain. So that will go on the outside of my bag. Ideally, what I want to be taking, I want to take this light with me, but I don't know how I'm necessarily going to fit it unless I take 3 bags. It's now raining, so you might hear this in the background, but we'll see. How on earth has it just started raining? I'm kind of at a slightly sticky situation here with the lighting options that I have available to me. I can't believe the weather, my love. All right, so I figured out my lighting situation. I'm gonna be bringing this bad boy with me. It's got a bag, everything like that as well, which means I've now got a little bit more room to pack a little bit extra stuff, which is cool. So I'm gonna pack the light itself. I'll probably put the mic in there as well, because it's just a little bit extra room. Then I'm gonna take the lead that's powering this light, so you guys won't get to see that going in. I'll probably take, so we got that there, mic, dead cat, drone, FX6 handle, 24-70 lens, GoPro, batteries, clothes, magic arm. In here, 2 G Master lenses, Sony a7 IV, FX6, and then the camera that I've got in my hands right now, which I'll show you. In my hands right now, we've got the FX3, as well as you can possibly see this, the FX3 with a Sony, if I get the lens in the shot here, Sony 16-35 G Master. It's an incredible lens, so good for sort of like run and gun stuff because this wide angle is so crisp. So that's what the camera I'm going to be doing the majority of the shooting is, like especially like outside run and gun. I will pair that, however, with an ND filter. So we will have the Peter McKinnon Polar Pro, I believe is the brand, variable ND. Got that a while ago, set me back a lot of money, but very good. I'm gonna bring this bad boy with me as well, so I have something to mount the light onto. And lastly, what I'm going to pack into the bag now is hard drives. Each one of these hard drives is like 5 terabytes, but obviously I'm away for the week, but I will still need to be doing actual work. And a lot of the projects that I've got saved are saved onto these, so I'm going to have to bring them all with me. I will literally just slap them in next to the FX3, like so. These are all LaCie hard drives, so they're pretty good. I think I don't really know how they could be better, if I'm honest. Like, they do everything I need them to do. So that's the hard drives in there like that. ND filter, I'll just chuck it on the end of the camera, and then it would look like so. Because I'll be vlogging as I go down. Let me see if there's anything else. Sometimes you may bring an FX3 top handle, but I'm not going to bother. Always bring 3 USB-C cables for the hard drives, and then also the card reader, because I've got 3 USB-C slots in my laptop, so I'll always bring 3. I'll then put the card reader in there like so. 2 pens, because I've recently started journaling, and this is where I'm sort of writing down all my ideas. Maddie and I were in the shop the other day, and we met this guy who's very passionate about journals, so I bought this book, and now I write down all my ideas into here, and yeah, I've been absolutely loving it. It's helped me a lot. Helps me bring my ideas to life, which is cool. So enjoying it. I will slap that in on top, put my pens in, like so. Closed. You're closed, Peli. It's a heavy old Peli camera. FX3 goes in that bag, and that's basically everything done. I will bring one USB-C long cable, and that is just so I can power a camera if we're doing a sat, sort of talking, testimonial, interview style thing. I want constant power into the camera, and I don't travel with big external batteries. So that'll go in there. Get my chargers. It's worth mentioning, the wheels on my Peli are absolutely trash, so it's gonna be fun dragging that around London. And yonder, the workhorse behind it all, the MacBook Pro. Extra big edition for a man. This is also a little hack for all of you creatives out there. If you've not already got it for so long, I just walked around with all my SD cards on my cameras like an absolute noob. But then I got an SD card holder, and it's amazing. Look at it in all of its glory. I still do keep SD cards in cameras, but now I have a Chaz SD cards holder. Wow. And then the bag for the mics. I'll bring an extra lead, charger for the mics. Pop the lav off. Well, I guess that's sort of the logical place to conclude the video. We've got all the stuff packed, as you can see. Peli, the light bag, rucksack. I need to take that cord there for the power for the light. I'd be pretty bummed out if I forgot that right at the last minute. But yeah, that's the video wrapped up. If you found this sort of thing helpful, useful, enjoyable, even in the slightest, it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe to the channel and then see more sort of studio related content coming out in the near months. If you're new around here, I took on the lease of this studio about 2.5 months ago, maybe coming up 3 months now. We've been letting it out professionally for the last month. It's been awesome. And I'm just going to share the journey on here as well as what I do for work normally. So yeah, if you want to come along on the journey, I'll be posting more mini vlogs of behind the scenes of shooting these mini documentaries. And yeah, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.